holy place, when our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace, when our heart is in a holy place. When we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace, when our heart is in a holy place. When we tell a story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace, when our heart is in a holy place. When we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace, when our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. One more step, we will take one more step, till there is peace for us and everyone. We'll take one more step, one more word, we will say one more word, till every word is heard by everyone. We'll say one more word, one more prayer, we will say one more prayer, till every prayer is shared by everyone. Say one more prayer, one more song, we will sing one more song, till every song is sung by everyone. Sing one more song. Amen. Be seated.
No? Yeah. Welcome, everyone. Hello. Isn't it great to have the Love Supremes in the house this morning? My name is Aidan McMahon. I'm an aspirant for UU Ministry, and I would like to welcome you to our home, the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta, where we are transforming lives through courageous action and soulful connection. You have found a congregation that is alive with love and with justice. We celebrate many beliefs in this house of love. In this house of love, we celebrate Black History Month. We celebrate diversity in our liturgy, our music, and our worship styles. As Unitarian Universalists, we bring together many sources of wisdom and wondering, not so much to offer answers to life's mysteries, but to join together in asking the questions. We are a vibrant community that is growing and shifting in interesting ways, always learning as we go. We are so glad you have found us. You are welcome, and more than that, you are cherished here. And now I would like to once again welcome the Love Supremes to light our chalice and lead us in the movement prayer.
May the light of this flame illuminate our tradition of seeking, invite all who yearn for acceptance, and ignite our passion for justice and peace.
And now, please rise in body or in spirit and join us in the movement prayer. First, we bow to honor the Spirit of life. We lift our arms to embrace the gift of spirit. We bring these gifts unto ourselves with gratitude and breathe and smile. We share these gifts with the world. We remember to be present. Honor, embrace, gratitude, share, be present. Ashe and blessed be.
At this time, we would like to invite our children, 3rd grade and under, to exit and join preschool or their creative workshop for the morning. Please note the kindergarten through 3rd graders will be upstairs in room 220. There they go. As our younger children recess, please take this opportunity to greet or handshake or rub elbows with your neighbor.
Good morning. Good to have you here. Good morning. Sorry. How you doing today? Good morning. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Good morning, Bill. Good morning. Good morning.
Mercedes rule and a Renner.
Bottom feeder, insincere, prophet, lo-fi pioneer. Sell the house and go to school. Get a young girlfriend, daddy's jewel. A change
Will do you
will
good.
do you good.
A change will do you good.
I think a change
A change will do you
will
good.
do you good.
A change will do you good.
God's little gift is such a drag. Poster girl posing in a fashion mag. Canine, feline, Jekyll and Hyde. You wear your fake fur on the inside. Queen of South Beach, aging blues. Dinner at 6, wear your cement shoes. I thought you were singing your heart out to me. Your lips were sinking, and now I see it had a change.
A change will do you
Will do you
good.
good.
A change will do you good.
I think a change
A change will do you
will do you
good.
good.
A change will do you good.
G Hook on guitar.
Here's a change.
A change.
For peace. Yeah.
Chasing dragons with plastic swords. Get back, Jimmy, everybody wants more. Scullion angel on the kitchen floor. And I'm calling Buddy on the Ouija board. I've been thinking about catching a train. Leave my phone machine on the radar range. Hello, it's me. I'm not at home. If you'd like to reach me, leave me alone. I think a change
A change would do you good.
do you good.
A change would do you good.
I think a change
A change would do you good.
do you good.
A change would do you good.
Oh, a
A
change
change would do you
would do
good.
you good.
A change would do you good.
I think a change
A change would do you
would
good.
do you good.
A change would do you good. A change would do you good.
Listening deeply and compassionately, you begin to understand the other person more fully, and love is nourished. The foundation of love is understanding, and that means, first of all, understanding suffering. Each of us is hungry for understanding. If you really want to love someone and make them happy, you have to understand that person's suffering. With understanding, your love will deepen and become true. Listening to suffering is an essential ingredient for generating understanding and love. I define happiness as the capacity to understand and to love, because without understanding and love, no happiness could be possible. We don't have enough understanding and love, which is why we suffer so much. That is what we are thirsting for. Compassion and love are born from understanding. How can you love unless you understand? How can a parent love their child if they don't understand the suffering and difficulties of their child? How can someone make their beloved happy without knowing anything about that person's sufferings and difficulties?
I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love.
Let us put hands on hearts. Feel the heartbeat, the connection to life. Breathe in peace. Say to yourself silently, I will love myself. I will love others, and that love can heal the world. At this time, we hear the joys and the sorrows of this congregation. Longtime UUCA member Alice Young passed away on February 20th. Alice reached the age of 99 and loved her UUCA community. She served as president of the board and was also a founding member of the Endowment Fund and Memorial Garden. She was thrilled to be able to see our new building upon completion. Our hearts go out to her 3 children and to all those who loved Alice. A memorial service will be planned at a future time. You are invited to say the names of people you are holding in your heart this morning. Speak their names out loud into this holy space now. May all beings find connection. May all people find comfort. May we all find ways to be more loving to one another. Spirit of life, love eternal, we rest in holy gratitude. We surrender to a mystery beyond ourselves, asking forgiveness for our mistakes, those times when we have been selfish or thoughtless. Breathing in and out, we offer grace. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. We honor our earth, supporting and sustaining life. We breathe in, opening our hearts to wonder. For just one moment, feeling a deep connection with all beings. Let us calm our bodies and our minds. We breathe in peace, and then we exhale. We relax into this space that our intentions make sacred. We enter into the silence.
When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love.
Hello, I am Florence Ting, Some of you may know Reverend Duncan Teague, who asked me to fill in for him today, since he is at the Tennessee Valley UU Church in Knoxville, Tennessee. He wishes he could be here to personally thank all of you for all the years the Abundant Love congregation has received support from the UU congregation of Atlanta. 5 years ago, I attended Abundant Love UU congregation's first service. I was excited that UUCA's own Reverend Duncan Teague had planted a second Atlanta UU congregation, but one modeled after the Black church. I had first seen Duncan Teague decades earlier when he was a member of the Adodi Muse performance group before he would enter Emory University's Candler School of Theology or be called to plant a congregation south of I-20. After my father succumbed to COVID-19 early, the smaller, more personal, Zoom-only congregation with mostly queer, mostly Black UUs was what I needed. Congregants attended from throughout the South and even from my hometown of Chicago. We individually shared our joys and concerns. Mine were usually about current events. This month, Abundant Love began hybrid in-person and online services. We had a wonderful 5-year-old birthday celebration service at the Hammond's House Museum. We watched a video of UUCA congregants singing Happy Birthday, Abundant Love, and thanked UUCA for the financial support you have been providing us since the beginning. Your help is greatly appreciated in helping fund the work we do in the West End, where we are starting to be known. My own personal giving to Abundant Love last year was equal to my UUCA pledge. We believe we are good stewards of the gifts and offerings that are a part of our community. With your help and many others, we continue to grow as we have during the shutdown. Thank you again and again. This month's Give Away the Plate will benefit Abundant Love. Please give generously. This morning's offering will now be given and gratefully received.
Going through the motions, learning how to pretend everything is perfect. And I've been sinking in an ocean, drowning but I'm silent. Everyone thinks I'm afloat.
I'm running through mazes, mazes. Maybe it's just a phase, but regardless, I'm flipping the pages, pages. I'm going through changes, but I swear I'm the same. Could you show me some patience along the way? I'm going through changes, but I swear I'm the same. Could you show me some mercy if I start to stray? I've been chasing after feelings, most of which are fleeting. I still feel empty. And I've been trying hard to fit in, but how come I'm so different from everyone I see? I'm running through mazes, mazes. Maybe it's just a phase, but regardless, I'm flipping the pages, pages. I'm going through changes, but I swear I'm the same.
Could you show me some patience along the way? I'm going through changes, but I swear I'm the same. Could you show me some mercy if I start to stray? Going through changes, but I swear I'm the same. I swear I'm the same. Could you show me some patience along the way? Along the way. I'm going through changes, but I swear I'm the same. Swear I'm the same. Could you show me some mercy? Show me some mercy if I start to stray. Trying to fight the seasons, trying to find my meaning.
Maybe there's a reason
Why I'm going through these changes.
Amen.
Please join me now in the dedication of the offering. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action we call community, we dedicate our lives and these our offerings. Thank you, Letta. An anecdote before we begin. When I told my seminary classmate that I was going to preach on communal discernment to a group of UUs, she joked that I might as well be proposing a model for world peace in 25 minutes. I told her y'all would sooner riot than let me speak that long. All joking aside, agreeing on a common direction for any community is hard, even when members of that community hold similar perspectives. Just ask my friends in the United Methodist Church who are witnessing firsthand a denominational schism over LGBTQIA inclusion. We don't have a shared theology or shared language here. If I mention God in this pulpit, some of you are going to wince or feel uneasy. What's he doing? But I also know there are some of you who, if I didn't, occasionally, might feel like something is missing. Likewise, the current version of our 6 sources, each of us has our preferences. Now, I've been educated in a Christian seminary, and guess what? I'm really comfortable with source number 4, which is Jewish and Christian teachings. But again, I know that if I lean primarily or wholly on the Bible, some of you appreciate it, some of you tolerate it, and others still of you feel alienated. And I would rather not have that for any of you. So unfortunately, in a community like ours, nobody is going to get all of their needs met every Sunday. Not everything is tailored to one person's preferences. I'm sure you've all felt that at one point or another. This message just wasn't for me today. Or I didn't really enjoy the music. Not today, you didn't say that. And likely this extends to things beyond Sunday morning. So why do you keep coming back here? Week after week after week. Community. Whenever I ask this question, the answer always seems to be community. In another part of the book from which we took our reading today, The Art of Communication by Thich Nhat Hanh, he tells the reader that community and communicate have the same root word, communicare, which means to impart, to share, or to make common. Now, despite our individualistic approach to spirituality, that calm word, that calm prefix, is important to a lot of what we do around here. Another word which shares this prefix is compassion, which Hahn writes is impossible without first understanding communication. Because compassion means to suffer with. Now, in Eastern traditions, suffering is a very broad word. It really encompasses the whole of human struggle. And compassion calls us to empathize with all of it. Now, despite some linguistic drift, there's yet another word critical to what it means to be a Unitarian Universalist, which shares it: covenant. The UUA defines it as a solemn promise, or a solemn agreement, or a promise of the heart. Now, covenant is part of our modern religious vernacular because of the Jewish tradition, wherein it was a promise between two parties marked by sacrifice. It cost both parties something, but they see the value in binding themselves to one another as worth the price. We will each suffer a little, and both come out better in the end. Now, as much as I've highlighted our differences, I feel as though I can speak for all of us when I say it has been a joy to watch this congregation grow over these 6 or so months since we've moved into our new home. And I feel confident saying that because I know we are a congregation that is committed to both our personal growth and the growth of our community. But I want us to sit with what growth means. Growth, first of all, means change. And now change is inevitable, so we had best make the best of it. That's why we've been preaching on it for the last 2 months. But change also means difference, and difference often means discomfort. For a community to thrive, it cannot stagnate. Rather, it goes through cycles of change, adaptation, and rest. This is the process of discernment in a nutshell. How will we respond to the inevitable change? Were that process ever to cease, it would bode very poorly for the community. There's this ancient thought experiment called the Ship of Theseus. It asks this question about a hypothetical ship. After years of use and repair, eventually none of it is original. It's all been replaced. Is it still the same ship? I'm inclined to say yes. That there's some intrinsic identity imparted by time and association, a certain thingness. And so it is with communities. Every new member strengthens our sails and reinforces our rudder. We might sail a little differently. The ride might be unfamiliar, but that's what we need to stay afloat. And we need to sail differently because we are in the midst of a sea change in our movement. See what I did there? What guides us when we are re-examining those things that are supposed to guide us? What undergirds us while we look to rework our principles? Ostensibly, it's the 6 sources, but as I have already mentioned, we all weigh those differently. And what's more, we're also reworking our language around those sources. So I suspect there must be something much deeper, much more fundamental to what keeps us together. Something at the root. Now, Unitarian Universalism is a living tradition, which means that we never close the book on Revelation. Not just from things yet to come, but also from new ways of understanding the familiar. With that in mind, it seems very UU to me to attempt to put two voices in dialogue across time and tradition. So with your blessing, I will lean a bit on the Bible and add St. Paul to Thich Nhat Hanh to hopefully answer our questions. Ambitious, I know. So almost 2,000 years ago, Emperor Claudius temporarily ousted the Jewish residents of Rome from the city. Now, one consequence of this was that the nascent Roman Church ceased to be culturally Jewish. It continued to grow, but now Roman citizens were the dominant force. When the Jews were allowed to return, they were now the minority voice, and they felt uncomfortable that the community no longer kept their dietary laws or practiced the Sabbath. And what's worse, they were getting mocked and excluded by those in power for wanting to reintroduce those things. They needed a place to feel at home. Now, Paul excoriates the Roman Christians. He points out that they had all the power in the situation, the freedom to move about society as they saw fit, and instead they used their freedom to make disempowered people feel even less welcome. This was especially important because Paul had a communal theology of salvation, not individual. Life is found in the community. A message I think we can agree with, even though our theology may be different. So at the core of Paul's ethic is this idea of welcome. The church was supposed to be a place for everyone. If you really wanted to be there, you should be allowed to be there. It was really that simple. There was very little theology in his argument beyond this idea that God has already welcomed them. What gives you the right to do otherwise? In our reading today, Thich Nhat Hanh wrote that the foundation of love is understanding, and that first of all means understanding suffering. In other words, having compassion. Listening when someone says they are hurting. Exactly what the Romans had failed to do. Now, what I find fascinating about this passage is that despite using different language, Paul is basically talking about the power of privilege. And he puts 99% of the responsibility on those he calls the strong in this situation. I think the advice he gives is pretty broadly applicable, including to our question of discernment. First and foremost, he says, if you have power, it falls on you to make sacrifices for the sake of those who don't, in order that they feel welcome. Tweak the language. Play some new songs. Don't respond to correction from a place of embarrassment or ego. Second, pursue peace and mutual upbuilding. You want a place to feel safe and stable, able to grow and to find meaning. So do they, even if they go about it in a different way. Help make it happen. Third, and this is the one where everyone holds some responsibility, be honest about what's important to you, and don't let anyone slander it. Should that be at odds with someone else, solve it with communication, with covenant, not by ignoring it and not by attacking them. But should any party not be willing to put in the work, to not extend a hand, Paul places the responsibility on whoever first refused to be welcoming, and that's the tiebreaker. That's what prevents this from being abused. If a person's need for feeling welcome are themselves contingent on exclusion, they are not of the right spirit. Today, we would call that the paradox of tolerance. Hanh writes that listening to suffering is an essential ingredient for generating understanding and love. When we listen to and acknowledge suffering, from the smallest faux pas to the greatest injustice, we create welcome. We develop love and understanding. This, I believe, is the measure by which we test the spirit of a community and of a movement, when all else is stripped away. So I encourage you to reflect on what really matters to you. Is it language, music, or theology? Is it activism, expression, or events? Does it require that you are always at the center, that everything is to your liking, that you're never corrected or critiqued? Test your own spirit, lest it get in the way of those who simply need someone to make a space for them. Welcome, or hospitality, is a virtue in nearly every culture and tradition the world over. So I'm glad that we've invested so much energy into our radical welcome team, which is always looking for new members, I might add. Do any of you know the etymology of the word radical? If you can't tell by now, I'm a big word nerd, kind of a side effect of 3 years of theological education. So it comes from the Latin word radix, which, hint, we also get the word radish from. Yes, the vegetable. It means root. To be radical is to get to the root of the matter. So good work, UCA. You hit the nail on the head with that one. At the root of it all is the virtue of welcome. Because, and this is the last one, I swear, the very word religion means to rejoin, reconnect, re-ligament that which has been severed. So as we move forward into a as of yet undetermined future, may that be religion for all of us, beyond theology, belief, creed, or language. Every act of welcome is an act of worship. Of who or what remains up to you.
You know this song. Sing it with us,
Yeah.
right? It's not that song, though.
Join
Rise
us.
in body or in spirit.
Rise, that's
Sing
right.
with
Body or
us.
spirit.
We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, getting stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free.
Sound really good.
We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. Set freedom every need. We can feed on every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, it is a seed. We can feed on every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, the world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry.
Tick Nhat Hanh writes that the most precious gift we can offer anyone is our attention. When mindfulness embraces those we love, they will bloom like flowers.
Here we go.
We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. Feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way.
So we're going to repeat that.
We are building a new way, getting stronger every day. We are building a new way.
Last line, one more time.
We are building a new way.
Okay, this is the last time. This is the last.
We are building a new way.
Go in peace.
You're all honorary Love Supremes.